is the best fictional quarterback of all time?
The best fictional quarterback of all time.
If you can't think of something, I can throw something at you.
I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I got to go with whoever Keanu Reeves' character was in The Replacements. That's my guy. I love that movie. The movie's so stupid, but he was the GOAT. He's the GOAT of fictional quarterbacks.
That's who you going with? Just right off the bat? Just skip everybody.
I mean...
You got the longest yard. 2 longest yards. You got Adam Sandler and Burt Reynolds.
I mean, Adam Sandler was hilarious in The Longest Yard. I'm not going to say that he wasn't, but...
No, but it's play on the field.
Play on the field? Yeah, I'm going with the dude. Let me see if I can get his name real quick. Let me see if I get his name. What would you go with?
Me, I gotta go Joe Kane. Give me Joe Kane.
Joe
Kane.
From what movie?
The Program. For those that know.
Shane Falco. Shane
Right,
Falco.
yeah.
Shane Falco. Keanu Reeves' character from The Replacements.
Yeah.
I'm going with Shane motherfucking Falco.
All right.
And his girlfriend in the movie was bad. Yeah, I'm going with Shane Falco. He had it all.
Every fictional quarterback has a backer. Well,
He
except Adam Sandler, because
he gets his car flipped, and then he goes and gets his boys, and they flip dudes Porsche or whatever, Ferrari, whatever it was. He's a beast, man. He getting into bar fights, still winning games on the field. Still winning games.
I'll take the kicker, though. I'll take the kicker.
Oh, hell yeah.
He was savage.
He'd give a run. He'd give Kickalicious a run. That's another Kickalicious reference. We're going to keep going. We're going to start a campaign to get Kickalicious back in the NFL.
And all right, with that being said, welcome back to World's Most Dangerous Podcast, the next man of Sports Podcast. I'm half of the dynamic duo that is Bobby G and Shaka.
How y'all doing?
All right, now that we got that out of the way, yeah, I'm still riding Joe Kane all day. Have you ever seen The Program?
Nope.
I'll put that on your list. You got it.
All right.
It's one of the best football movies.
I'll check it out.
Omar Epps,
It ain't
true
better than
freshman
Brian's
tailback.
song.
Brian's song isn't fictional also. So
Yeah. I mean, it's an exaggeration, but close to nonfiction.
All right, lot to get into this week.
Welcome to fucking October, people. Welcome to October, Bobby.
Yeah, thank you.
It's the spooky season now. It's getting scary. It's getting scary.
You're way more excited about October than I am.
Apparently. September's over.
Yeah.
Like that Green Day song, man. Wake me when September's over. Like, when September ends, it's over. We up now.
See, October is just White Club John. I'll be going to November. So hit me then.
There we go. Right. So we all just plan for the end of the year. We just finding ways to skip months and shit. Everybody don't like a certain month. But we into October now, man. Yeah. And it's just getting real. Now you got, because we are a sports podcast, not just an NFL podcast. So now we getting them other games in. We got, baseball's getting into the hunt for October. We in it now.
What?
Baseball.
What's that?
Baseball. That's something I'll cover on a different note. But
is that an actual sport?
So we got baseball. It's the pastime. Yeah, we got baseball. We got the NBA season's right around the corner. We in training camp now. So there's stuff obviously going on in the NBA. We'll get back to the NFL, but let's talk about the NBA real quick. I mean, I know we're gonna have our whole, previews for that.
Shout outs, so.
Oh, shout outs. You're right. Let's do that first. You first. Let's go ahead.
I got a half-hearted shout out. Half-hearted because I have a new team in my slate of teams to follow and root for. That is the Las Vegas Aces.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they took the L last night.
Mm-hmm.
But
so it's
in
1-1.
that,
yeah,
it's 1-1. Within that, my shout out goes to Diana Taurasi, who in that game, it's a must-win game for her team. It's dropped 30, including 8 3-pointers. I think second most in playoff history in WNBA.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people, we talk about the GOAT in most sports. It's barbershop talk.
Yeah.
Women's basketball wise, I think it's universally accepted. Diana Taurasi is the GOAT.
I think that it's
in the WNBA.
I think it's a close tie between her and Sue Bird.
I think Diana is. I believe if you ask 10 people, I think all 10 would say Diana Taurasi. I would put
Diana Taurasi first personally, but
Sue Bird isn't. That's taking nothing away from Sue Bird. But yeah, Diana Taurasi, and I say it even with, because there have been women prior. You got the Cheryl Swoops, Cheryl Miller, who never got the opportunity to showcase her skills in the league like this. Cynthia Cooper,
Lisa
many
Leslie,
right? Yeah. I think the WNBA came along at a time where they were kind of near the end, not the tail end, but they had some good years. But we didn't really see a lot of the great female basketball players in their prime.
Right.
Diana Taurasi was really like the first one we got to see her whole career. We followed her at UConn, where she won 18 national championships.
Right. Feels like it.
Right, and got to see her entire journey until she's 39 years old, man. Still doing it. So it's like, that's just incredible. Kudos to her. Again, unfortunately, came at the expense of the Aces, looking to win the championship this year, number 1 seed. But they'll get them next time.
Okay, I'm digging it.
Who you got?
I got 2 shout outs.
I got 2
for two sports that apparently I don't think that you're fucking stupid. I just caught that. First shout out goes to the New York Yankees. They've been on the Yankees they're holding up the number 1 AL wild card spot.
They've been in first place since like 1903, haven't they?
Yeah, I meant to say because the Yankees just crossed my mind because again the Boston Red Sox messed up last night, lost to the Orioles, which they absolutely shouldn't have. Orioles are the worst team in the league. Like, it's not even close to 50 games under 500. It's not even an exaggeration. That's what's terrible. No, I wanted to give a shout out to the St. Louis Cardinals. They went on like a 17-game winning streak to get themselves back into the playoffs, into the playoff picture.
Nice.
So the Cardinals are going to be running up in there. So that's impressive. And the Yankees are on a similar, like a good win streak, a good cycle right now. So shout out to those 2 teams. I like seeing those 2 baseball teams. I know you don't follow baseball, but I like watching those 2 teams play. So shout out to them.
They're still going to get smoked.
Probably.
Because they're going to have to play a 100-win wild card team.
Yeah. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough.
And that's part of the reason why I don't like baseball. I think they need to get rid of that game. I know they're trying to make it more exciting and get viewership and all this, but I would be so pissed if, and this is almost the exact scenario, because like you said, St. Louis, they played themselves back into the wild card game. Mm-hmm. Let's say they win their final 3 games. That gives them 92 wins. Let's say the Dodgers, or we'll call the Dodgers the wild card team. Mm. They win their final 3 games, 106 games. So we won 14 more games than you. You beat us once.
Yeah, but you won your pennant.
And you're in the show. Yeah. No.
Yeah, you won your division.
You shouldn't be here. It should be 1 wild card team.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro. Like, try harder next year.
Yeah. Well, again, just shout out to those teams that are doing it, because again, it was to see the Cardinals get back into it and have to go on that kind of a run. Like, that's nuts. Yeah. You look across sports, you win 17, 18 straight games.
Yeah,
that's a beast. So shout out to them, to the Cardinals, to the Yankees, because I think they'll make the playoffs interesting and worth watching.
Yankees are going to take their division.
I love watching Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. You know that. Those guys are beasts. My second shout out is across the pond. This is a personal one for me. I know you don't follow soccer, the beautiful game as I do. Football. Football.
I do like watching the broadcast, though.
Yeah. Oh, they're so much fun.
Go. No.
They're always so hype, man. They're soccer has the best commentators in the world.
Absolutely.
They give you like play-by-play, and they get you hype.
And to be exact, the Telemundo.
Yeah.
Telecast. It's the best. Those dudes should be hired to telecast every sport.
Can you imagine how many people would go out to vote if those dudes are calling the vote counts? Put them on CNN and MSNBC talking about who won Nevada or who won Georgia. Dude, everybody tuning in. And those just come in, Georgia! For Joe Biden, win Georgia! Everybody's tuning in. You'd be like, you wait for that shit all night. Anyway, from across the pond with football, wanted to give a shout out to my guy. You know, he's my favorite player. Cross sports, probably of all time, is Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah. Just made a move a month and a half ago from Juventus back to his original home starting ground, Manchester United. Right. He's been playing like a beast through his first 3 games. He had 4 goals, but why I'm shouting him out is that they dropped a game in the Champions League that they shouldn't have lost. Puts them in a bad spot in the group stage. Champions League, for people that don't know, is like the biggest tournament for major clubs overseas in Europe. It's like the winner of that's like their Super Bowl. That's like the equivalent. It's like the big tournament. And then he scored a goal literally at the last minute game winner on Wednesday to push them through. It was an incredible goal. It was all just stupid. Anyway, so shout out to Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, the man is, 36, 37 years old. People thought he was past his prime on some Brady shit, and he is playing better than dudes half his age. And again, he's my favorite player. So seeing him still giving these motherfuckers the American equivalent of buckets.
he get buckets.
Because it doesn't sound as good as saying goals. He's still getting buckets. So shout out Cristiano Ronaldo, the St. Louis Cardinals, and the New York Yankees. I know that's a lot of shout outs, but fuck it. It's our show. We do what we want. I say what I want, goddamn.
Now doing what I want.
All right, so moving on, let's go into the NBA real quick. Just touch on a couple of the headlines because I know we want to really break down the NBA when we get into our preview, so we'll go into more depth. But, I mean, these headlines, they've been nagging. They won't go away. Yeah, you got the Ben Simmons headlines that only seem to be getting worse by the day, and then more and more conversations about Andrew Wiggins and the vaccination protocols.
And not so much that. The bougie, let's call it what it is. The bougie cities of San Francisco and New York.
Bougie cities.
Yeah, I said it. Yeah, San Francisco. Like, get a life, bro.
So what do you mean? Like, how are you feeling about that whole situation?
They're stupid.
We're talking with the Andrew Wiggins and like the whole issue of like him not being vaccinated.
He can't play in his home arena, but an unvaccinated player from a visiting team can play with no problem. Mm-hmm. So basically what you're saying is you found a way to now, and I don't want to use the word slavery, but you found a way to take ownership of the people who live in your city.
How so?
Once again, you come up with this mandate, but the mandate only affects people who live in your city. So once again, you're going to penalize Andrew Wiggins and reward a player from another city, from another team, who can play in that game as well. As if for people who are pro-vax, who saying this guy can't be an outbreak monkey because he lives from somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Or you're basically saying we don't have jurisdiction over him. Yeah. Like, we don't know if Andrew Wiggins is technically a resident of San Francisco. So, for all we know, he could live in Oakland. Mm-hmm. Doesn't that conflict? Because technically now he doesn't reside in it.
I guess I'd have a different set of a different question for you then. I mean, you obviously have a house and you have kids. So it's like, but you have different rules for your kids that live in your house than you do for guests that come over, right?
No.
Yeah, you do. Even with me, you got different rules, like how you'd interact with me versus if, your daughter was doing something
That's
crazy.
A relationship thing. Like different interactions, like when I was younger.
You don't think it's a relationship between the city of San Francisco and its most popular team?
No, because you gonna come get my taxes whether I'm vaxxed or not. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. You ain't got no problem taking that unvaccinated money.
So I guess the bigger question that I had,
you can touch them dollars.
Because we off the air, we've talked about this issue a lot in a lot of different capacities and different threads. But my question is like, okay, so Andrew Wiggins is from Canada. Yes. Why I'm bringing it up? He's an international player technically. Yeah, exactly. I always hate that when it's Canada because it doesn't feel international. It's like, I know it is technically.
You're North American.
Yeah, you're just like our brothers from up north. But it's like, okay, so he's technically international. We've both flown international before. We've gone to different countries. Right. You know that leaving, you have to get certain immunizations, certain vaccines, etc., in order to enter those countries. Mm-hmm. Whereas the people living in those countries may or may not have gotten it. But it's like you're willing to take that in order to go to this other place. Where I look at the vaccines, I'm wondering the same thing. Like this current one, people have no issue taking those other immunizations, those other shots. One, I don't get why there's such a big deal about this one when it comes to like it's been so politicized, which is so annoying because this time last year, everybody in America wanted a vaccine. Everybody wanted a vaccine because we wanted the pandemic to be over. Well, yeah, the overwhelming majority, I think it was like 85%. Yeah. It was like 85% of Americans wanted the vaccine. Then we get it. And now there's all this hesitancy. There's all this reluctance. There's a slow rollout to where the pandemic is now continuing on, and people are complaining about like all the different restrictions and the protocols. And it's like if we had just done things, we wouldn't be in this spot. So it's like, what is the problem with requiring people in your own city, because you can't tell somebody from a different place to do something. But it's like, if you live in our city, if you're a resident of our city, you need to do this. Just like if you were going to go visit, say, Germany, and they're like, or go visit Africa, like, you need to get a malaria vaccine, you need to get these things, or you can't go. Like, that's where I'm kind of like, people are acting like there's no precedent for this. Like, there's no precedent for demanding or requiring immunizations or requiring vaccines. That's where I've been getting frustrated about this whole conversation. People are making it seem like this is just fucking out of left field, and it's never happened in the history of America or in the history of life. Like, we don't, like, as if we don't go and it's mandatory before we put our kids in school that they get the polio, measles, and mumps vaccines. But now all of a sudden it's like this big thing, and it's like, I don't get it personally.
Right.
Like, I don't understand. If you're getting paid $30 million a year, you can take a fucking shot, in my opinion.
If you're getting paid $30 million a year, you can afford to.
That's fuck you money.
That's a separate thing.
It's definitely fuck you money.
For me, and I'm not speaking for all unvaccinated people. You know, I am unvaccinated by choice.
And I am, and so and I'm vaccinated. So that's why we can have a conversation, because we have both sides of the coin right here.
Yeah, and again, going into, we talked about it briefly a few episodes ago. It's the reason we can sit here and do what we're doing is, one, I'm responsible. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to endanger myself. Like you said, I got the wife and kids. I'm not going to do anything to endanger them. So I'm going to take every precaution that I can. Right. With that being said, there's a precedent. We live in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. The Raiders opened the season last year without fans. This year's their first season with fans. Mm-hmm. You have to be vaccinated to go to a Raiders game. Mm-hmm. I'll say that again, people. You have to be vaccinated to go to a Raiders game. You do not have to be vaccinated if you live in Las Vegas. You have to be vaccinated, period. Just be consistent. Mm-hmm. Be consistent. That's all it is. If you can't tell me I can't play, but Joe Schmo can't play, or I can't play and Joe Schmo can play just because he doesn't live here. Mm-hmm. Either you have to be vaccinated or you don't. Be consistent.
I agree with that. And then we've definitely talked about that. I hate that for a lot. That's why I appreciated what the NFL did. Yeah. And I think we talked, again, off camera, we talked about this over the past, probably week or two. I never thought I'd say that the NFL got something right that the NBA is getting wrong. Like, not in the past decade has that been the case. But the NFL got it right. Yeah. The NFL got it right.
Roger Goodell, over that last decade, has learned a lot.
Yeah. Oh, he definitely has. Yeah. Credit where credit's due. Yeah. He's getting better. Yeah. Slowly but surely, he's getting better. But the fact that they were so out in front of this and very, very clear on all of their language on what needed to happen. Like, if you don't, Cole Beasley, if you don't want to get vaccinated, that's fine. That's your choice as a human being. Right. But you're going to have to go through X, Y, Z. Like, you're going to have to go through these stringent protocols. We're going to have to make sure we're trusting that you're going to be responsible, but trust can only go so far when we're talking about $1 billion industry. Right. Trust you, Lily. Not even as far as I can throw you. I trust you as far as I can, physically touch hands on you.
I think also something else that kind of puts the NFL at a slight advantage. They're working with a little bit more space. What I mean by that, the stands are about 15 to 20 yards away from the sideline. Versus NBA, you got courtside seats. Yeah, those are the money seats. That. If you're really concerned, how about we negate those courtside seats? How about we don't open up until the 8th row to protect your players?
And that's where I'm agreeing with you. And again, why it's shocking to me that the NBA is all the information coming out is so bad. Right. Like, it's so all over the place. There's no direction from Adam Silver, which again is shocking to me. Right. Because I know he's trying to work with the NBA PA, he's trying to make sure that everybody's on the same page. But it's dude, you need to. At the end of the day, you're the commissioner. At the end of the day, you're essentially the president. You need to make a choice. Right. Like Roger Goodell did, which again, it was yo, we're gonna have these, and it's everything has worked. When guys like Antonio Brown is now coming back off of COVID, it's okay, you don't want to. I don't know his vaccination status, but obviously if he got it and I'm willing to guess. Educated guess.
I would assume he's vaccinated because he stayed with Tom Brady when he first arrived. And I'm going to assume Tom Brady was look, bro.
And even at that, and this is what I've appreciated about, even with the NFL, I haven't heard any complaints. Because the NFL has been so clear from before even training camp started, even when a guy like Antonio Brown has to sit for a week, there's not complaints.
Right.
Because everybody knows, like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
We've agreed to this. Like, you could opt out again, but no, everybody opted in. You know, I think that they said that they were hoping to get to 100% vaccinations. I don't know how close they are to that or how accurate that is, but I know that they were very, very close to it. So where I'm looking at the NBA and I'm looking at Andrew Wiggins and I'm like, I can see his frustration. Yeah. Because it's like, regardless of his own personal health choice, it's like you guys aren't even given fucking, as you said, consistency. Right. And who can play and who can come into the building and who can't. Right. Like, yeah, if you live in, to your point, great point. If you live in Las Vegas, you don't have to be vaccinated. Right. If you want to go see them fucking Raiders play. Yeah, you do. To the point where they were actually offering the first shot of a vaccination at the game. Yeah, to try to get you in. But it's like they're not playing around because the NFL is not playing around. Yeah. So it's like. So I won't see the Raiders. If there was you say you want to see the Raiders. Well, shit, I might. I'll let you know how it goes, man.
But the only other thing with Wiggins, and I think it was more so this. I don't think it's the vaccine per se. It's the question. Mm-hmm. It's am I allowed to keep private information to myself, or do I have to share? Because we've had this conversation, and I'm like 50-50 overall on athlete ownership issues. Yeah. This issue, I'm 100% on the athlete side. Professional athletes, celebrities in general, the day you decide, it was like Kevin Hart, the day I signed up to be your best friend, the day you decide you sign up to be in the public eye, you give up certain liberties. Of course. One of those is your right to privacy to a huge degree. Mm-hmm. Professional athletes, they take it a step further. Example, if I go to the hospital for whatever reason, I'm sick, you give me a ride to the hospital, I come out, fine, all right, let's roll. And you ask my doctor what was wrong with me, and he tells you, I'm getting paid because I'm going to sue the hell out of the hospital for giving up my private information. Right. Professional athletes don't have that. Mm-hmm. You slip in the shower, ESPN's reporting it 10 seconds later. Like, anything that happens.
Wojnarowski.
Right. So it's like.
As if he was in the shower with you.
Exactly. Like, and I understand that it can be a competitive thing because it can be used to a competitive advantage. I get that, but to have this one thing to keep to yourself, it's like, it ain't your business. You ask me one time, it ain't your business, move on. And I'm gonna blame the shit reporters. The guys that don't have enough information, that they need some kind of story for their career, so they just keep asking over, because the good reporters don't do that. They move on. Shit reporters come up with better questions, bro. It was like the Urban Meyer thing in the preseason. Everybody on earth knew who the Jacksonville Jaguars starting quarterback was going to be week 1. Yeah. Yeah, some shit reporter is going to walk up in there because Urban Meyer didn't technically name Trevor Lawrence starter. So why haven't you named the starter? The fuck off. Get better at your job. Ask me something else. But they get mad at Urban Meyer, or they get mad at the coach for dismissing these dumb questions or going around like, dude, you know. If you know, you know. You're especially beat reporters. You follow the team, you know. Yeah. So with that, it's just because it's the hot story. Make some. You're the media. You make the story. Make another hot story.
So speaking of another,
let's get off it.
Speaking of another hot story, another troubled star, another bunch of troubled headlines and drama in the NBA. Real quick before we move back to the NFL. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Ben Simmons?
This guy. I mean, I'm gonna Simmons, but I'm gonna and it slipped my mind. Yeah. NBA triangle, because this involves Andrew Wiggins, who's in the Vast. Kyrie Irving, who's in New York, San Fran and New York, exact same guidelines. Bradley Beal. Andrew Wiggins can't play in San Francisco. He can play everywhere else. Kyrie Irving can't play in New York. He can play everywhere else. Bradley Beal, who is in Vast, can play everywhere. How does that make sense? Yeah. He ain't gonna miss a game. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a lack of clear guidelines and protocols from the NBA's top of the top as opposed to what the NFL did. So looking at other idiots in the NBA, let's talk about Ben Simmons. Joel Embiid came out today and shots fired. Yeah. I mean, everybody's kind of known their relationship has been tense for a while, but Embiid, to his credit, I mean, he's probably one of my favorite shit talkers in the NBA. Yeah, he's the ultimate troll. Has held his tongue for a year and only been positive when talking about Ben Simmons until yesterday. until Thursday, and then Joel Embiid.
He slipped us. It wasn't really a shot. He just kind of told the truth in his post game to play when they were like, what made the difference in was a game 4 or 5 against the Hawks when Ben Simmons passed up the dunk. And they asked Joel Embiid what was the turning point in the game. He said, "Well, we passed up a dunk for a foul free throw." But yeah, I get what you're saying, and that's part of being a leader. Like, yeah, let's go, Joel Embiid. I hate Joel Embiid. I don't, but he's entertaining.
Because he came out and was like, "Yo, it's disrespectful."
Yeah,
like everything that Simmons is doing, he's like, "It's just disrespectful."
Yeah.
Like it's insulting to the rest of the guys in the locker room. It's insulting to everything that we're trying to build.
Yeah.
He's like, obviously we'd like him back, but if you're not going to be here,
and the other,
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, the second part of what he said, absolutely true. It's like, bro, everything about this team was built around his needs.
Yeah, because Simmons was trying to say that he felt like they were taking the direction too much towards Embiid, and it was it's
like, you need now. We seen what the team can be with you as a potential number one. Now we need to put every resource behind this guy to see what it's like that way, and it's true. Like, you get rid of Jimmy Butler because Ben Simmons needs the ball in his hands because he's a playmaker. Dude, I take Jimmy Butler on any team I put together. He's a dog. Like, every move that they made is to, I don't want to say protect, but it's to promote Ben Simmons as the playmaker for the team.
Yeah.
We've seen how that ends. Now it's time to switch gears. But then you don't want the blame when everything goes wrong.
Okay, so what do you think the Sixers should do with Ben Simmons?
If you were
the GM, where would you trade him to, and what would you ask for? Because what they've been asking for, they're out of their fucking minds.
Right now, I trade him to the freaking China League.
I trade him for. We take this shit to semi. I trade him for like a washing machine.
I trade him for Jimmer for debt.
I trade him for a washing machine. Like, the one we got's really nice, but I saw this one, and Sears had. I just couldn't say no.
Yeah, you take the best deal
trade
you
Ben
can
Simmons
get.
To fucking Sears.
Yeah, to get this situation over with.
I'm gonna trade your ass to Dillard's, bro. You're gonna be working in the fashion show mall if I was the.
Let's look at the best potential trade that most people were talking about over the summer. Was him to Portland, and potentially getting either Damian Lillard or CJ McCollum. But let's go with Damian Lillard. Even if Philly gets Damian Lillard, you're at best the third best team in the East. You
think so? With Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid, and Seth Curry, you still think
you're not better than a healthy Brooklyn? You're not better than the Bucks. So at best, you're the 3 seed.
Yeah.
At worst, you're lower than that, because let's say the Celtics get it together. Because talent-wise, they're probably the most talented team in the league. But they just, on the court,
they're young too.
Right. So let's say they get it together. Now that puts you at 4th. Let's say the Hawks get better. That puts you at 5th. Like, there's not a trade out there you can make right now that puts you in the NBA Finals to me. So just take what you can get, grow, play for next year.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, I would, same thing. I'll just try to find a team. I wouldn't try to make a blockbuster trade for Ben Simmons. I feel like that window is closed.
It's not there.
Yeah, there's not a team that's going to give up a lot of assets. Portland's not giving up Damian Lillard for Ben Simmons.
Right. You think ideally the best fit next to this dude would be like Luka Doncic?
Because it's not even it's not even that. Because again, Luka needs the ball in his hands, and I'd much rather have Luka with the ball in his hands, dominating the ball than Ben Simmons. But
that's what I'm saying. Luka next to Embiid.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Like that's like your best.
Yeah, but good fucking luck.
Exactly.
Mark Cuban said he'd leave his wife before he'd let Luka walk.
Exactly. So
and I love Mark Cuban, and I feel like he's fucking serious. He was like, I'd probably divorce my wife if it came to that, or re-signing Luka Doncic.
That was the dopest thing I ever heard.
It's like, I love you, babe, but
this dude, Luka.
This dude is. He's one of the billion. Like,
as a matter of fact, have you thought about marrying Luka?
Yeah, we can make that work. I'm cool with it. Whatever keeps him in Dallas, let's make it happen. So yeah, he's not going there. For Ben Simmons again, like I would look for a team that can give me I'd say a mid-tier star, Like, again, like Andrew Wiggins. Like a guy around that caliber. And like a couple draft picks. Like asking for 5 or 6 draft picks and a star like they were asking for.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
You're fucking out of your mind. You're not as in bad of a situation trade equity wise as like, you know, the Texans when they were asking for similar shit for Deshaun Watson.
Right.
But you're not far off. The only difference is at least one of them doesn't have 22 allegations against him.
Right.
But the problem with that, where it's not even a fair comparison, is that you take away the allegations and it's like the quality of Deshaun Watson in his respective role and Ben Simmons. It's like, no. Like, no. That's why they could ask before he was accused of all those rapes or sexual assaults. They could ask for your franchise if you wanted Watson.
The other part Simmons, of that equation is he can actually play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, Simmons, you've never, in my opinion, I've never been high enough on Simmons. And that's the other big problem. Where else do you fucking trade him? Because it's not even just about what can you get back as far as a star or picks.
Yeah, it's where who the fuck fit?
No. Even bigger than that. Who the fuck wants to take on that contract? Remember, he just signed. He just finished his first year of a 5-year, $140 million extension. Right. Who the fuck wants that contract?
I think I know who.
Who wants to take on that contract for a guy who can't shoot a jump shot or a free throw?
I think I know who.
Who? I'm all headphones, all ears.
Sad to say it. The one consistent team that's been mentioned in all the rumors.
Cleveland Cavs.
Yeah. And I don't know how I feel about it. I think he'd improve the team, especially as we're structured now. We picked up Evan Mobley in the draft. He's a stretch big. You got Kevin Love. He's a stretch big.
What's that guy's name? Darius something?
Darius Garland.
Yeah, Garland is good.
We'd probably keep. Can be a secondary ball handler, but he can also play off the ball. Mm-hmm. So it's like we have shooters to put around where his jump shot wouldn't be so big of a deal.
Yeah,
we could just basically play 5 out, literally, and he could be that Giannis. You know, just play the Giannis role. But I don't think he'd okay to trade. That's the issue.
Yeah, I'm over Ben Simmons. He's one of them guys that I'm like, I don't. You know, I got on this shit before. Like he made me so mad when we were doing when we first started doing some of our test runs. I lost my shit on one of them. I'm so tired of hearing about Ben Simmons. So
he's supposed to be practicing his jump shot, and he's sitting at Wimbledon with which Kardashian is he dating?
Who knows?
Kendall.
One of them. I don't know. It's hard to keep up. Devin Booker's dating one of the other ones too.
Yeah.
Who knows? That family gets around. You know, all the leagues. Everybody knows that. And that's probably why. I mean, that makes sense. If he is fucking with one of the Kardashians or the Jenners, that's probably why Ben Simmons is so far up his own ass right now. It's like career suicide. You sleep with one of them girls. It's just like, name a player that's gotten better afterward. Not one. Not one. Blake Griffin went from like the star in LA, like a LA Clippers, to being relegated to nowhere in Detroit where people forgot that he could dunk.
Yeah.
And he's now like coming off the bench in Brooklyn. Yeah. What happened? What changed? He started dating one of the Jenners. And everything went to hell. Reggie Bush, Austin Miles, like the list goes. Chris Humphries. Chris Humphrey. Actually, he's the only one that benefited.
He kind of improved.
He's the only one that benefited. Yeah. He's the only one that got lucky. Everybody else's career went down. Some no-name dude that was riding the bench signed a massive contract.
We can say the jury is out.
72-hour wedding.
The jury's out on Devin Booker. But so, I mean, he made a finals.
Devin Booker's a beast. I just hope that he don't let that, get him all screwed up. So we'll talk more about the NBA in a couple of weeks when we're getting closer to tip-off, man. I mean, we're only a few weeks out. I think it's October 19th is tip-off off the top of my head. Somewhere around there. So we'll get into that. But let's recap real quick. Sorry, guys, on the last episode, we did not put in our pick for Thursday Night Football. I feel like it's an obvious one, though. We both would have picked.
Yeah, I would have picked
Cincinnati because, again, it's the Jags. We both had them finishing at the bottom of the league. Probably
it was a good game, though.
It was surprisingly good. It was surprisingly good. Yeah. The fact that they jumped out 14-0 on the Bengals and went into halftime that way.
Yeah. 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, Joe Burrow looked terrible in the first. The whole Bengals looked terrible in the first half. Yeah. And then they went, 24-7 the rest of the way.
Yeah, they came out in the second half ready to play. Two straight scored on their first 3 possessions of the second half. But Trevor Lawrence's best performance so far as a pro. He really he showed he could be a leader. Even though he didn't throw for a touchdown, he ran for a touchdown.
Almost ran for 2, but then he got that stuffed.
Yeah.
Got stuffed on 4th and goal.
Yeah, if they hadn't had that goal line stop, and that's right going into halftime. You're talking about them going into halftime up 21-0. That's a different ball game.
Yeah,
but
it's probably a blowout. It's probably the game over. Jags get off the snide, but instead, Jacksonville has now lost 19 straight games dating back to September 13th, 2020, when they won their first game and said, we are not satisfied.
We want Trevor Lawrence.
So
and they got him.
Y'all weren't satisfied with 1-0, and you've gone 0-19. Are you satisfied now? Do you motherfuckers need a Snickers? Because you look hungry.
I bet you the last, if you look, every week they've kind of shown improvements. And from Urban Meyer's standpoint, I kind of knew last week's game would be a game that kind of relaxed him, settled him down, because it was a game getting ready for Arizona. They played Arizona. Getting ready for that game is kind of just like college. So now I think he's at ease. And this is not saying that they're gonna like turn around and win every game, but I think you'll see them play tough football the rest of the way. Okay. Still not many wins.
What do you think about the Cincinnati Bengals being a surprise? Because it's definitely a surprise, 3-1.
Cincinnati reminds me.
Nobody saw Cincinnati being 3-1.
The Bengals remind me of us, Baker Mayfield's rookie year.
Okay.
It was like we put together a competitive roster. The guys didn't know how to win. And going through that season, we kind of showed stride. We started out same thing. I think we started out 1-2, or actually 1-1. But we were just competitive every week. You could see us learning and getting better and figuring out how to win, and guys building confidence. I think that's what the Bengals are right now. It's like, okay, we have a roster, we have kind of our core guys. Now we'll go through the season. We'll see what else we need to put around Joe Burrow. We'll see what else can we use Joe Mixon for. And he ran hard last night. A tremendous game. But it's now you just plug in, you putting the rest together. So next year, I think they'll be playoff contenders.
Next year. So you don't think that the Bengals will make the playoffs this year?
No, they're going to get to a real part of their schedule. And again, they'll be competitive. They're going to play against the Bengals. Are not going to be in. It's not an easy game for anybody, but they're going to go through a stretch where they lose like 4 or 5 in a row, and it's going to hit like in the middle. Once you get into the division, play Baltimore and Cleveland, and again still have to finish games against the AFC West team. Like, yeah, they'll hit a rough patch, but next year, look out.
I think people might need to start looking out for him now, especially if Joe Burrow keeps playing like this. He's averaging over 300 yards a game. I mean, he's beasting. Yeah. Passer rating last night above 130. I mean, that dude he was nice last year until the injury. Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't look like that was a fluke so far. Yeah. It looks like, he's every bit and then some what people expected of him. Yeah. So I think the Bengals are now going to be a team to watch, in my opinion. Like, I didn't expect them being 3-1. I didn't predict that at all. I did say to you during the power rankings that I told people to watch the Bengals. They're going to be an explosive team. They'll be a fun team to watch. Yeah. At least I wasn't wrong on that. I was wrong about the fucking Jets. I was so wrong about the Jets, but I was right about the Bengals being fun to watch. I didn't think they'd be 3-1, but it should be interesting. I mean, again, they have some winnable games coming up.
Yeah, and some losable games.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
3 of your next 5: Green Bay, Baltimore, and Cleveland.
Yeah, but then they
squeeze the Lions and the Jets in there. So
yeah, you got the Lions and the Jets. They go 3-2 down that stretch, or they go 2-3 down that stretch. Yeah. They're still solid. That's what, 5-4. Yeah, that nobody predicted them being at that. They're 5-4 halfway through the season. That's a good go. And then you close tough. Yeah. So yeah, maybe they don't make the. Yeah, they're not gonna make the playoffs. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, that's a gauntlet. After the Jets game, it's a gauntlet. You got Browns, Raiders. We'll say they can beat the Steelers. Obviously, they've shown it.
Browns, Raiders, Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers, Niners, Broncos, Ravens, Chiefs, Browns.
No, never mind. Never mind.
Like I say, next year
they might get to 7 because 7 or 8 wins because they can they can knock off some of those teams.
Yeah, I can see them pulling because that's 5 right there. 6,
they got some
7,
upsets.
8.
They got some upsets in there. So before we get into our Week 4 predictions, let's go with the fantasy. Start them, sit them.
Let's go with
you first.
All right.
Let's hear what you got for let's go for who you going to start. Who would you suggest to the people? To the people tuning in, who would you suggest to start?
I got AJ Green.
AJ Green.
AJ Green. Arizona plays the Rams this weekend. I know Aaron Rodgers is that bad man, but the Rams have a bad man. His name is Jalen Ramsey. He's gonna be chasing around DeAndre D-Hop. That's gonna leave a lot of targets for AJ Green. I think he has a very good game. I'll give him like 8 catches, maybe 90 yards and touchdown.
Wow. Okay.
So, next up, Julio Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, start Julio Jones. Tennessee. They got the bye week.
We'll see.
The bye week, that is the New York Jets.
Oh yeah, that's probably the new bye week. You can't say that about the Lions, even though they're 0-3, because they showed a lot. But
I know obviously Derrick Henry's gonna do Derrick Henry type things, but when they do need to pass, Julio's gonna be that number one target. I think AJ's still out, so Julio's probably gonna eat this week. It'll be his coming out party with the Titans. And Tyler Lockett. It was only 3 receivers this week. Tyler Lockett. Seattle plays San Fran this week. All the attention is going to be on DK Metcalf, the T9000. Tyler Lockett historically has performed well against the 49ers, so I look for him to have another good afternoon. 7 to 8 catches, getting 80, 90 yards. He might actually, I think he'll hit over 100.
Okay.
And a score. So look out for that. Your sit-ems don't play. This is going to be a surprise to a lot of people. Don't start Tom Brady.
Wow. Okay.
And this is not saying like the Patriots are world beaters at all, but for a 20-year veteran, there's a lot of first, and first can be different. This is the first time he's facing this coach. This coach knows everything you like to do. Everything you don't like to do. This is going to be the most familiar opponent he's ever played against with his game. And Bill Belichick's defensive-minded coach, and he has the personnel to put a game plan together that could slow down Tom Brady. So it's like, for as well as he could perform, he can make 3 or 4 mistakes in this game. Easy. And still win. And this is not saying who's going to win or lose the game, but it's too easy for him to be thrown off in this game, so I'll just stay away from that matchup. If you have another QB on your roster, start them instead, unless it's Zach Wilson. Sam Darnold. I'm high. Sit Sam Darnold. I'm high on the Panthers. This week, they'll play the Cowboys. I just don't like the matchup. This is probably going to be, speed-wise, the fastest defense he's played against. They got speed coming off the edge. They got speed at linebacker. The Dallas secondary is they're on an emotional high. They've been playing very well. I just don't like the matchup, especially with Christian McCaffrey not playing. I'd sit Sam Darnold. I think their best bet is to kind of make this an ugly game and grind it out. So I don't see Sam throwing for more than 250.
Okay.
And last but not least, Jonathan Taylor, running back, Indianapolis Colts, playing against the Dolphins. The Dolphins have a solid run defense. The Colts, quarterback issues. So, of course, most defenses focus on stopping that run game first. Just let's sit Jonathan Taylor this week.
Okay. Those are some interesting picks. My first stardom flies directly in the face of one of your sit-ems.
TB12?
No, I didn't go with Tom Brady. Instead, I went with Antonio Brown. Start Antonio Brown. He's coming back. And to your point,
he also is going back to
don't take my points, goddammit. Don't steal my punchlines. It was that, yes, he has that shit too. He's got that issue with Bill Belichick and that, I thought y'all were gonna give me a chance. You gave me one game.
I'm not gonna say why.
So I thought when it comes to Antonio Brown, he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's got some shit to prove, and so does Tom Brady. For the exact same reason that you're saying that Brady will struggle when it comes to Belichick. It's that I know that you will not stop smoking the grass that is Bill Belichick. I understand that that's your fucking guy. I understand that you're clearly willing to die on this hill with the Patriots and Bill Belichick and his defense and all this shit, despite the fact that they're 1-2. I see Tom Brady eviscerating the New England Patriots. And I'll get into what I think that scoreline is going to be. I feel like Tom Brady is going to make it a fucking point. Like, because again, it's that narrative that me and you have gone over for years. Like the shit that always drove me nuts when you talk about Tom Brady, that drove him nuts. It's like, oh, it's not Tom Brady, it's Bill Belichick. Tom Brady only has these rings because of Belichick. Then he goes to Tampa Bay and gets another one, and people are like, oh, well, that team was already. It's like there's always something somebody got to say about why Brady's not the GOAT. And every one of those things points back to Bill Belichick. He's going to go the fuck off. And he's going to go to his favorite target that's not Gronk, and it's going to be Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is going to eat on Sunday.
Except for me, don't put me in that class of people.
Of what?
I could say Tom Brady's not the GOAT without even mentioning Bill Belichick.
He's the GOAT,
and you know why.
He's the GOAT, but we'll move past that because when we get into our GOAT conversation, as we teased in the original trailer, that's coming towards the tail end of the year. We'll get into the GOAT debate, but for now, we're just talking fantasy stardoms. So start Antonio Brown. He's gonna have a hell of a game. Okay, I guarantee he'll get over 100 yards. Okay, I see at least 2 touchdowns. So Antonio Brown's gonna have a good game. This one's an obvious. But I put a 1A and a 1B, or 2A and 2B, I guess, on this one. If you have Derrick Henry, start Derrick Henry. I think he might fuck around and hit the record for yards in a game. He's going up against a terrible Jets defense. He's getting his legs back under him. I mean, he had 180-something yards against Seattle. He followed that up with 113 yards on Sunday. So he's all the way back in his fucking groove and going up against a bad Jets team that he's going to eat. So if you obviously don't have Derrick Henry, because I know he was like one of the first or second people off the board this year. If you don't have him, start Clyde Edwards-Helaire running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, again, they're playing the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. Yes, the Eagles do have a fairly decent, run defense, especially with Fletcher Cox still back. I know he's old, but he's still doing work. Yeah, he's playing. But I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to go off. Okay. I think that they're going to use him in a lot of screen plays. Obviously in play action, but like play action dump offs to him, a lot of checkdowns. Right. Because again, Philly is going to do a good job, I think, on containing, or they're going to focus heavily on Tyreek Hill, and obviously Travis Kelce, as teams do every single week. But I think that every time the teams that have weaker secondaries, like the Philadelphia Eagles do, where they really know they have to focus on those guys, at games that the running back is going to be able to be open a lot on checkdowns, a lot on screens, a lot on short outs. So look for Clyde Edwards-Helaire to not only get, I would say probably about 15 to 20 touches on the ground. Okay. And I would say he's going to get targeted. I don't know how many catches he'll get, but he's going to get targeted at least 10 to 12 times. Oh, wow. And given his hands, I believe he'll catch probably 90% of those. So you're looking at a guy that's going to get you good points both sides of the ball. I'd start Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And then third for the start would be the Buffalo defense. I mean, if the last 2 weeks aren't an indication that these dudes are not fucking around anymore, I don't know what else could be. Right. I wanted to go again. I wanted to make it, 4 weeks in a row that I picked the Broncos defense, but I couldn't do it this week. Because, again, we're going up against the Ravens. It's at home. There's the question about Lamar Jackson's health. He's missed 2 practices with his back. I don't put any stock in that at all. I think that boy will be fine come Sunday. Yeah. So even as much as I believe that my team is going to do really well against the Ravens, I don't think our defense is going to get you a lot of points. Right. I don't think we're going to give up a lot of points, but we'll probably hit right around our projection. Yeah. So you're looking at like 8 or 9 points. So I wouldn't put them. I'd put the Buffalo Bills. They're going to at least double their projection, whatever it is. Yeah. They're going up against Houston at home. Yeah. Coming off the past 2 weeks, that defense is going to shut down the Texans. All right. As far as my sit-ems, first, it's going to be wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings, Stephon Diggs. I'd sit him down this week. Again, as we talked about, I don't like the matchup. Buffalo. Huh? Buffalo. Oh, yeah. My bad. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. That's what I meant to say. I did not mean to say Stephon Diggs. I was thinking about Buffalo. I meant to say Adam Thielen. So sorry. I wish we could edit that, but we can't. It was a misspeak. They were teammates. They were teammates. Yeah. I meant to say Adam Thielen. As what's annoying is I literally read it off my phone and still said it wrong. Because I was still thinking about Buffalo. Adam Thielen, I'd sit him down. I'd sit, honestly, any wide receiver on the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah. The fucking Browns. I know that it was Justin Fields. I know it was a first-year guy. But regardless, the Browns, their defense has been, as I was saying before, they're going to be a top 5. They're already showing they're one of the best defenses in the league. They're going to be down the corner. I don't give a shit. You guys gave up 1 passing yard. One passing yard to an NFL team. So and again, I'm not saying that, the Minnesota Vikings and Kirk Cousins and Adam Thielen are anywhere, on the same plane as like Justin Fields and the rebuilding Bears.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm not looking at Kirk Cousins and all them dudes. I'm looking at them fucking Browns. And I'm like, nah, man. If you have a wide receiver for the Vikings on your squad, sit them this week. Because they're gonna have a bad day. I'd also sit Kyler Murray, quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, I don't like that matchup on the road in LA, division game against the Rams. Again, with Matthew Stafford playing the way he is, the Arizona Cardinals are going to be playing catch up. And the last thing you want to do against that LA Rams team is be forced into a lot of like deep coverage plays or passing plays where you're going to have to give your wide receivers time, and that just gives Aaron Donald time.
Yeah.
Which I think leads to some sacks. I think it leads to some interceptions. I think it leads to at least one fumble. I see the LA Rams like beating up Kyler Murray.
Okay.
And then finally, and I'm actually happy to say this one, I don't even say this with any kind of negative in my heart, but it's true, sit the Steelers defense. I know the Steelers have a great defense. We're not talking about the offense or the team as a whole. I know their defense is really good, but they're going to be going into Green Bay and playing Aaron Rodgers, and we've seen how he's played over the last couple of weeks. I think that he's tuned in. And I think that he's going to have a really good game against the Steelers at home. Okay. So I would sit the Steelers defense because he's going to pick them apart.
All right.
Especially when you think about the fact that offense is going to be on the field too much. And you put a fatigued team on the field for long periods of time against Aaron Rodgers, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So those are my sit-ems and start-ems.
Good deal. All right, let's get to the meat.
Let's get to the actual, into the predictions. So obviously we have... the first game that's coming up is Washington football team going up against Atlanta. Quick takes on those. Who you got?
I got ATL.
You picking Atlanta again?
Yep. They're going 2 weeks in a row. Wow. They're at home. I'm more of a fan of Atlanta's offense than Washington's offense.
Okay.
Defense is no question. But I think Atlanta is going to be able to move the ball a little bit more consistently in this game than Washington will.
Yeah.
So I'm going Falcons. Again, they win a close one. I'm going to go 2017.
2017. Oh,
20-17.
We're not too far off, but I'm liking how this list is already starting because it's now different from last week's where we were on the same page too much. Oh, by the way, people, last week, just to keep everybody up to date on the week by week records, me and Bobby both finished 11-5.
But I was more righter.
You were not at all. Yeah. You can't be more righter when we had the exact same picks right. Anyway, we both finished 11-5. Currently, I'm still leading by 3 games overall. But we'll see how it goes this week because I have a difference of opinion. To start it off, I think that the Washington football team pulls it out. But just like you, I think it'll be a really close game. I have it 24-21.
All right.
So same margin of victory. I think it'll be a 3-point game either direction. I'm not super confident in either team for all those reasons. It's like Atlanta has a better offense. Washington has a better defense.
Yeah.
So it's really just going to come down to which side makes a bigger play. And I have more faith in Washington's football defense making a play than I do in Atlanta's offense making a play. Like late at the game.
That's fair.
So I'm going to go with Washington. We're going into Houston and Buffalo. I think I've already made my statement on that. But I have it 35-17. And the 17 is being generous only because, again, we were both impressed by how the Texans looked last week. So I'm going to give them a little bit of credit. That's why I'm giving them 17 instead of 10. So I think it'll be 35-17.
I'm giving 31-10. 31-10 Buffalo.
All right. So, again, we're on the same page with that. I don't feel like there's too much elaboration there. Again, the Texans, I'm not saying nothing negative about them. They're, 2-1 or 1-2?
What's that?
The Texans.
The Texans are 1-2.
1-2. But, again, like, they looked good. Like, they were in a close game last week. So, it's like, no, I just think it'll be a blowout. I'm not going to try to over-explain it. It's the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, they're just a superior team.
Yeah, it's going to be a clinic, in my opinion. I think it'll be a clinic. I think that week 1 loss for the Bills pissed them off, and I'm liking seeing it. I think it pissed them off. I think it woke them up. I see Josh Allen going for over 400. So I think it'll be a runaway game. I think it'll be 35-17 conservatively.
All right.
Moving on, we got Dallas versus your playoff Panthers. Who you picking?
This one I'm actually going with the Cowboys.
Going against your playoff Panthers. That's what you're saying, because
their
you're
first
sitting Darnold and all of that. So you're
this will be their first losses. I'm going with the fact that I think Mike McCarthy's actually going to stick with the game plan. I think they're going to run the ball. Dallas, to me, has the second most prolific backfield in the league. Yeah. And of course, with the Browns being the first, and they've proven, Dak is a good enough quarterback. They run the ball, and Dak's limit the mistakes, the opportunity for mistakes he has to make. They're tough to beat. They made the right adjustments on defense, moving Mike Parsons to the edge, letting him get after QBs. I think they keep the ball rolling for their third straight win, and the Panthers take their first loss.
I have the Cowboys winning the game as well, 28-24. Only reason for that is the same thing. Like, I think that if they stick to the running game like they have the past 2 weeks, I think that they're a very tough team to beat, especially in division, like in the conference. Yeah, I think in the NFC they have the best. They have in the NFC the best running back duo.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So going with you, like number 2 probably overall. I think that if they keep it on the ground, they can beat Carolina, especially since Carolina's going to be missing CMC. Yeah, that's a huge loss for them. But I think it'll be a really close game. Yeah. I think it can go either way. I'm going to go 28-24 Cowboys.
I think it'll be the second most entertaining day game or early game. Yeah. Early game. I think it'll be the second most entertaining.
I think it'll be a very, very good early game. And then we're going to the Colts versus the Dolphins. Got a little interdivisional play.
Yeah. I'm going Dolphins.
Going Dolphins?
Yeah. I like their quarterback situation a little bit better. Yep. And I like their defense a little bit better. So, Jacoby's, he's got something to prove. Or he took the Colts against players. There's a lot of revenge-type games this weekend. Yeah. So, I think he gets it. And the Dolphins are two teams that are just on the same level. I think the Dolphins just have an edge right now. They're just playing slightly better. The Colts, again, like I said last week, like they haven't been able to establish a rhythm. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to start this week.
Okay. I'm on the same page, man. But again, I think it's a toss-up. I think it's going to be I have it 21-20 Miami. I literally think it's a toss-up game. Like that's the best way that I could put it. I have to pick a winner. Both teams are suffering from injuries to their quarterbacks. Both teams are suffering from injuries to like key parts on not only their offensive line, but I think the Dolphins are missing one of their main defensive players. Yeah. There's just injuries for both teams. You're going to be fielding, second year or backup quarterbacks. Yeah. Regardless of Jacoby Brissett, being solid, like he still is the second option. So it's like I think it'll be an ugly game.
Yeah, and they gave one. They know they gave a game away last week.
Yeah. So I think that the Dolphins squeak it out. Yeah. But it could be a game that goes either way. Yeah. Moving on, I feel like we're back into the bad trend of us picking all the same teams, because I'm pretty sure you're going to pick Cleveland when it comes to Cleveland versus Minnesota.
Yeah, another revenge game. For those that don't know, our head coach Kevin Stefanski started off as a special team assistant like 15 years ago in Minnesota. Spent the first 15 years of his coaching career in Minnesota before getting the Browns job. So. Yeah, the Dogs, they'll be ready to back him up in his trip back. But I think this will be the most exciting game of the early games. And this will be a fun game to watch. I'm going to get 38-28 Browns.
38-28.
38-28.
I got 35-24 Browns. As far as the excitement level, I'll leave that to you, being a Browns fan.
Yeah, I mean, it's for teams are mirror image of each other. Yeah. Like the game plans will be basically the same. Their defenses, personnel-wise, give us the edge in certain spots, but like we run a lot of the same stuff. So our defense sees their offense every day in practice. Their defense sees our offense every day in practice. This is going to come down to execution. But with that being said, we'll execute a little bit better, but I think it'll be fun both ways. I think OBJ has a solid game again. He had a solid game last week. I think he hits over 100 yards. I know you don't like Thielen, but watch out for Justin Jefferson.
I'm not saying I don't like him.
No, I mean in this game,
I don't like the matchup. I don't like any of the Vikings wide receivers against this Browns defense. I just don't like the matchup.
I like Justin Jefferson. Like I think is going to be, remember we're down to DB. Greg Newsome, our starting isn't playing. Greedy's going to be starting.
Greedy!
Right. That's, our rotation is going to be a little bit off in the secondary. The difference in the game is Dalvin Cook's not playing. Mm-hmm. Basically, so.
Which is, again, why I'm saying I'm not.
Yeah.
Those wide receivers don't have that outlet valve.
Yeah, but we'll shut down the running game, but the issue is going to come with we're going to bite on a lot of play action again because our defense sees our offense do this all the time. They watch Baker, and it's hard not to go for play action, especially when you know they want to run the football. They want to do the same thing we want to do. We're going to bite on a lot of play action. They're going to bite on a lot of play action. They just won't have the running game to back up their passing game like we will. So I think that's what gives us the edge. Aside from we're just a better team, but it'll be a good game, fun game to watch.
All right, so we have another question. I have a question for you. Do you think? I'm gonna grab the mic real quick, get my Dirk on for a bit. Getting tired of leaning forward. I'm gonna lean back, old school.
Lean back.
Yes, sir. So who do you have in the Giants versus New Orleans Saints game? Do you think that the Giants finally get their first win of the season? Or do you think that they move to 0-4?
I got to go with the Saints.
You got them going 0-4.
Yeah, it's
no faith
defense.
in the New York Giants.
I have more faith in the Saints defense to be able to hold them down.
I have more faith in a Chihuahua not barking at everything than I do in the Giants winning this game. So that's less than no faith. I also have the Giants losing. I have it 24-13 for New Orleans. And that's, for me, I hate this game because it's not really, it's going to push New Orleans to being 3-1, which, I mean, again, good for them. But I don't like this matchup. In terms of, like, it's a game that has to happen, but I don't think either one of the Giants are going to go to 0-4. And the Saints is going to put them in a position that's great for them down the stretch. But again, I don't think that this could be a false win, so to speak. Like it'll make the Saints look on paper better than they actually are.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is Saquon Barkley isn't 100%. I don't think he came into the season 100%, and the Giants are treating him like he's not 100%. And until they start treating him like he's 100%, they're gonna have a hard time winning games. Yeah.
And I'm gonna stop hating on the Saints, but I just can't. I don't buy it. I just don't buy the Saints being a good team. So I got a 24-13. We got the Tennessee Titans versus the New York Jets coming up. We're getting into the later parts of the day. We're still in the morning games. So who you got? You said it's a bye week for Tennessee.
It's a bye week, Tennessee.
Yeah, obviously you know who I'm picking. I think that Derrick Henry gonna go for over 200 yards if you don't do that and lose. So I'm definitely picking the Tennessee Titans. I got a 31-14. What you got the spread?
40-0.
Jesus. That's just mean, man. It's fucked up. That's less than no count. I mean, well, the Jets did just get shut out by the Broncos. The Titans' defense isn't as good, but again, I don't know. They're gonna be fucking.
Yeah, but their running game is better, so that's gonna chew a little bit. That's gonna take away from the Jets' time of possession.
I don't think it will. I think it'll have the opposite effect. I think that the Titans' running game is too good. That Derrick Henry's gonna be busting out like 60, 70, 80-yard runs, big chunk plays all the time, and it's like. Anyway, so moving on to what I think will be one of the games of the week. Definitely one of the ones to watch.
Interesting.
Wait. Sorry, skipping one. We have Kansas City versus Philadelphia first. That is not the game of the week for me. It's a throw. I think the Chiefs win it running away, 35-17. I think that this is a game that Kansas City desperately needs. For me, this is an interesting game not to breeze past it because I feel like this is a must-win game for Kansas City.
I don't think it's a must-win game, but definitely Kansas City's gonna win easy.
How is it not a must-win? If they lose this game, they drop to 1-3. If they lose to Philly,
it's like Kansas City is like you think of the Golden State Warriors. They come in. What's the score? Hey, we're down 15. All right, that's 6 threes. Like they could be 1-5, bro. They can win 11 straight games. Like I'm at no point in the season until the season is over will I be worried about the Kansas City Chiefs. They've earned that.
Okay, that's fair. I still think it's a must-win game for them, but I also think it's a good must-win game.
Yeah, they win.
They should win.
They're just It's two different levels of team. Philly's going to find that out. It's going to be a lesson for Philly. It's going to be a lesson for Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. He's going to see.
Yeah.
He's going to see that the Chiefs are more like Ricky Bobby than anything else. That they go fast. Jalen Hurts going to be like, man, them boys are fast. Yeah. Tyreek Hill looks fast on film.
Yeah.
You see him
Wait
in real.
You see him.
You don't. You don't see him in real life. Motherfucker's just gone. Ball gets hiked, he's gone. Like, Jalen Hurts going to be like, boy, that boy's fast. So now on to what I think will be one of the best. It'll be a good game to watch, and it's Arizona versus LA Rams in LA. Mm-hmm. First divisional matchup for these two teams against each other. Who you picking?
I got the Rams. They take control of the division, and I think it's going to be one of those games where it'll probably look closer than it is. I think Kyler Murray is going overall. I think Kyler Murray will struggle, but I think AJ Green is going to have a game. AJ Green will be the guy that will kind of make them hang around in the game. But I definitely got the Rams. They're more consistent on offense. Their defense is trying to get back that consistency. Arizona doesn't have a tremendous run game. They can run the ball. You got James Conner down there. But, Rams at home, I'm going to say 34-24.
Oh, we're close then.
Again, I think it won't look like it.
But you're taking the Rams.
Yeah.
All right, I got the Rams as well, 31-24. I think it'll be a really close game. I'm only putting it that close because I don't want to take away too much from Kyler Murray. I mean, as much as I'm not sold on him yet, I know you're not either. His numbers are still up there. Like,
he'll make the highlight reels.
Yeah, he's still going to be putting up a lot of numbers to still make a lot of plays with his legs. But again, that defense is just too fucking good.
Yeah, and this is I don't think he's had a game this season where he hasn't turned the ball over.
Yeah, and you don't want to turn the ball over against the Rams. And the problem is they're gonna put you in spots where that's very, very easy to do.
Yeah, right now Matt Stafford is making people pay for turning the ball over.
He's making people pay, period, and especially if you turn the ball over. So I got the Rams moving to 4-0 in the battle of the unbeatens. That's why it's an exciting game too. Is that they're both 3-0 right now, and they're division rivals. So one of them's gonna lose, one of them's gonna no longer be undefeated, and I think it'll be the Rams that eke out a win over the Cardinals. And we got another NFC West divisional matchup. The other half of the bracket with Seattle versus San Francisco in San Francisco.
This one I'm gonna give you. This is a must-win game. This is more of a must-win game for Seattle than the Chiefs game is for them.
Even though they both have the same record, you're just confident that the Chiefs could go on a run and Seattle can't.
Yeah, because you look at it, you're gonna have a 4-0 team in your division, so you're gonna be 3 games out at minimum. No matter what, if you lose this game.
Yeah, if you lose. Yeah, no matter what.
And
it's in division.
Right. And so now 2 teams will basically have tiebreakers over you.
And if you lose, it'll be what?
You're behind in the wild card. You're behind in the division.
4-0. It'll be 4-0. Let's say if it goes the way we talking about, it'll be the 4-0 Rams, 3-1 Cardinals, and 3-1 Niners with now a win over you.
Right. You're just behind everything.
You're
behind the Vikings for the wild card. You're just behind. So it's like you cannot lose this game. If they were playing an AFC team, maybe, but the fact that you're playing a conference opponent that's a division, you can't lose this game. So I see Seattle going on the road and getting that dub. Russell's pretty much just owned the 49ers for his whole career. I think he's like some ridiculous like 12-2 or something stupid against the 49ers.
Yeah.
But
again, that's a 49ers team that's struggled with health over the last couple of years.
And they're coming off a very tough loss. Like a game that they gave away.
A game they should have won. They should be 3-0 right now.
Yeah. So, but I think Seattle comes down there and kicks them while they're down.
I don't see it. See, I think this will be an extremely close game. I have a 27-24. But I have it for the Niners. For that exact last point you just made. They just lost a brutal game. Yeah. They should. I guarantee you that they're fucking pissed in that locker room right now.
I bet
like we should be 3-0 right now. Going into having Seattle come in with a chance to go 4-0 and be tied for the division lead with the Rams. Instead, it's like we're gonna have to just tie for second place with the Cardinals. I think that they're motivated by that late 37 seconds left loss to a conference opponent in the Green Bay Packers. I think that they know they can't afford to lose this game, because then that puts them on level playing field with the Seahawks. They'll both be 2-2.
That should be behind.
Yeah,
but not right.
I see Frisco holding on this time and winning the game 27-24. I don't think Seattle's going to be able to make that last big play that they'll need. Okay. I think it'll play out similar to how the Green Bay game went, but I don't see Russell Wilson being able to make the plays that Aaron Rodgers did to put them in a position.
Danger Russ? I think he will, man. Again, watch out for Tyler Lockett.
Yep. And into the game of the week. The game of the week.
This is not the game of the week.
The game of the week.
It's the game of the afternoon. Definitely.
The Baltimore Ravens going into Mile Motherfucking High Stadium and playing the Denver Broncos. 3-0 Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Who you got?
I mean, you can call this hate, but it's not. I got the Ravens in a nail biter. 27-24.
Okay. I expected nothing less.
No, nothing less. I actually went with it. The only thing that held me back is Teddy Bridgewater has a poor record against the Ravens.
You and these records in the past over seasons before with completely different rosters and completely different circumstances. I'm not going to talk about
sometimes the more Teddy change, the more they stay the same.
Because Teddy Bridgewater, he hasn't had this team before. And I'm looking at it, and I got a 27-21 Denver.
Yeah.
I think it'll be close. And the reason I'm saying that is, again, regardless of his health status, Lamar Jackson is going to be forced to run the ball a lot against us.
And be forced to. He's just going to.
No, I'm saying he's not going to have a choice to throw. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at our secondary, and again, that's what I was talking about. Like, our secondary is playing out of their minds.
Yeah, but not out of their minds. This is where I'm gonna use
the hate. Here comes the hate and the doubt.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say, being that my team is in the AFC North, see, you have this. It has nothing to do with your secondary. He's not. Lamar Jackson doesn't want to throw the ball.
Oh, I know that.
He wants to. So you're saying he's before? He's not. He wants.
But what I'm saying is that we want him to run. Like, we're one of those teams that, again, with how our team is designed. Like, yes, we're built with our safeties to where you're not gonna be able to throw the ball easily. Mm-hmm. But again, Von Miller, Shelby Harris, all these dudes have been playing so much better. And again, stopping the run. Like, it's not like we've just been shutting these teams out and giving up huge runs. Like, we haven't given up a 100-yard rusher yet. Not even close.
Of course, but
where I'm like, I know that it's a whole different beast. It's a whole different beast with the Ravens. But again, I watched the Raiders do it, and the Raiders don't have our defense. And
you watched the Raiders do what?
Beat the Ravens.
Oh yeah, they won. I thought you were going to say stop the run. They didn't.
No, I'm not saying.
And as I'm saying, this is going to be the first game you guys missed Bradley Chubb.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that we're going to stop the run. I'm saying that if it gets to us, if we're going to, I guess that's where I meant by we're going to force him to run. Like, yes, and we know that he wants to run. The problem is he's going to have to. And when he has to, because they're going to be down in the game, and he's not going to be able to throw the ball to try to get back big chunks. And again, what have the Broncos been doing better, apart from our defense, than anybody literally in the NFL? Holding the ball. Because again, Teddy Bridgewater's we had going into last week, we had a plus 16 time of possession over everybody else in the NFL.
Right, but we hold to do that. You played three teams with zero offense.
That's an entire quarter of us just holding the ball over everybody else. And again, it's like the way that we're structured, the way that we're set up, we are going to control the time of possession, which is going to force not Teddy Bridgewater, it's going to force Lamar Jackson in a situation where you're going to need to throw the ball down the field, move the ball quickly, and he's not going to be able to do that. I think it'll be a great game. I'm not going to belabor the point because I'm just going to get frustrated with the hate. I just want to see Sunday.
It's not hate.
It's not just from you. It's from everybody.
It's
from everybody. I just want to, as I said, I'm intentionally going to keep my Broncos comments as short as possible because I just want all of you motherfuckers hating on them to have to eat these words.
Since you're keeping it short, let me get to it.
I'm gonna just say, watch on Sunday. Tune in. It is the game of the week. It'll be the most entertaining game of the week. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Broncos fan. I'm saying it because it's going to be dope.
Just keeping it short?
Just tune in. Go ahead.
No, I had to get you all that time. But yeah, it's not hate. The stats fantastic. The time possession thing is fantastic, but you played three teams with zero offense.
It's okay.
You should have.
It's okay.
Like, this is, and you know for a fact this is your first test of the season. Mm-hmm. So throw all that out of the window. Like time possession doesn't matter because
I can't wait till Sunday
because Baltimore has an offense. Like they have a defense. Like you're keeping it short. Still going.
We'll see.
But yeah, it's gonna be you first guys.
I'm just saying I don't want us to talk about the Broncos.
It's gonna be your guys' first test of the season. It's gonna be a good game.
I'm saying I don't want us to talk about the Broncos.
I think Baltimore pulls it out because it's your first test of the season.
Okay. That's fine. That's fair. I don't want to talk about the Broncos. I know I don't want to. I want to just
shut up.
I just want to move on to. I'm saying that. I'm saying let's move on.
I was still talking.
No, we don't. We don't need to talk about the Broncos on this episode.
I can talk about what I want to because I'm 100% non-biased.
Oh bullshit! You're not biased. Anyway, going to fucking Pittsburgh versus Green Bay. I think this is gonna be a fucking slaughter. But I'm going 31-14 Green Bay. But I don't think it'll be even that close.
41-13?
31, sorry, 31-14.
31-14.
A little bit of dyslexia, sorry about that. But yeah, 31-14 Green Bay. Again, Pittsburgh does not have an offense. Ben Roethlisberger, as we talked about, 14 of his completions last week to his fucking running back. Like, they don't have an offense. That defense is going to have a really hard time with Aaron Rodgers. And they're in Green Bay, so they're not in Pittsburgh, where Pittsburgh could even have, the terrible towel help. They have no help. They have no offense. I see it being a runaway victory for the Green Bay Packers.
Same. Not so much a runaway. I think it'll be closer than people think. I think Pittsburgh's defense is going to come out and give 110, but it's just not going to be enough again because they don't have offense. So I got Green Bay 31-21.
Okay. That's a closer game than I would have guessed for you to pick, but I can see that. So moving into Tampa Bay and New England. We got Tom Terrific going back up against Bill Belichick for the first time in his career. Long-awaited game. It's in New England, so it's his first time returning back home.
He can step into the history
back
books.
Into the stadium he fucking built.
Gillette was around before Tom Brady.
Sometimes, dude, like I just want to fucking stab you with a spoon.
I mean, it's like this is why people. I don't hate on Tom. Like, dude, stay facts, and we got no problems.
I'm obviously not saying that Tom Brady was a fucking construction worker that was on they helped build and construct. I'm not saying you said that, but people say this as example.
The Staples Center is the house that Kobe built because those Lakers ran that. Mike Vick. This is the house that Mike Vick built because Virginia Tech expanded it. You're saying, no, that stadium was before Tom Brady. So it's like it predates Tom Brady so much. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, the franchise that Brady built.
New stadium,
then the franchise that Brady built. So
the franchise that Brady built. New Yankee Stadium.
So technically,
the house that Jeter built.
Since technically, Bobby wants to talk about the fact that the actual stadium was constructed before Tom Brady went there, even though he knows exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. When that, like, nobody gave a rat's ass about Gillette Stadium until the last 20 years of Tom Brady's magic. Cool.
They played in a Super Bowl before
and
Tom
lost
Brady started.
badly.
But they played, but you're saying like they weren't bumps.
Oh my God, dude, nobody gave a fuck about the Patriots. Literally nobody on fucking earth gave a fuck about the Patriots until Tom Brady won them a Super Bowl. That's facts. Nobody.
Really? So they played a completely empty stadium.
They even had a shitty ass fucking logo. Nobody gave a fuck about the Patriots.
The logo is pretty much the same.
Oh my God. Okay. So you have well, how do you have this game going, man?
I'm sorry, I watch football.
It's not even. This is nonsensical points. Like, this is nonsense. Like, you know what I'm saying. You're just like, you love. So people, what y'all don't understand, like, where me and him off camera like debate like vehemently, like we get into like huge arguments. It's like he's so annoying about fucking semantics. Even if he knows exactly what you're saying, he'll try to find like the one semantics. Word that he can try to be like, oh well, technically Gillette Stadium existed before Tom Brady, so he didn't build it.
If you're gonna use the
it's
same,
like what the idiom is about. You understand what the idiom? I'm talking about the little shitty.
No, you said the logo was different. It's the exact same.
No, the last time they went to the Super Bowl, it was a little shitty fucking dude.
No, it wasn't. It was this one. No, it wasn't.
Okay.
That was back in the 80s, bro.
Yeah, that's the last time anybody gave a shit about the Patriots before Tom Brady.
No, they went to the Super Bowl, but they lost to Green Bay. What are you talking about? It was a year before the Broncos won.
Nobody gives a fuck.
And you're a Broncos fan. You should know that.
Patriots until Tom Brady. Anyway, who you got? Are you picking New England because you love Bill Belichick so much?
No, I'm picking New England because your boy's
so you are picking New England.
Crybaby.
You are picking New England.
Your boy's sentimental.
You're out of your mind. You are picking? Wow. How are you picking New England to win this game?
Is it because your boy's a crybaby?
So this is what I don't
He's
understand.
He's going to be
like,
sentimental.
You're like, oh, I'm so facts. And when you talk about like the Broncos, like, oh, I'm just facts. But you will not accept the fact that like the fucking Patriots are not good. You're just willing to die on this hill. You think the Patriots
doesn't have anything with being a good or bad team. We pick the games between bad teams and good teams.
You think that the Patriots will beat the Buccaneers?
I think the Carolina Panthers are going to make the playoffs too. I don't see you talking shit now. All right, but back to my points. Let's get back to these facts. Emmitt Smith is a lifelong Cowboy. Left the Cowboys, went back to Dallas and lost. Fact, Joe Montana is a lifelong 49er, went back to San Francisco and lost. Fact, Peyton Manning is a lifelong Colt, went to the Broncos. Broncos played the Colts, they lost. Fact, Tom Brady will lose this game this Sunday.
All right. What do you have a score line as? I want to see how close you have it or how far apart you have it.
24-20.
All right. I have a 41-17 Tampa Bay.
Of course.
I'm just going to leave it at that. As I said,
Tampa Bay has never scored 40 points since Tom Brady's been there.
As I said, I think that Tampa Bay and Tom Brady are going to make a statement in New England against Bill Belichick, against the Patriots. I see Tom Brady throwing for 5 touchdown passes. And I think, again, Antonio Brown's going to catch at least 2 of those. I see Gronk getting 1. Mike Evans getting 1.
Okay.
So, yeah, I got the Patriots getting blown the fuck out. And then, honestly, moving on to what I actually think will be another great, fantastic game of the week. And it's the Monday Night Football game. For once, I actually think they have a fucking good one.
That's a good game.
Yeah, the Las Vegas Raiders traveling
down
to...
The Raiders-Ravens game was good.
Yeah, it was. True.
And that was, how did the Raiders get 2 Monday night games in the first 4 weeks?
Because it's Vegas.
We talk about that.
Because it's Vegas,
I don't give a shit.
Because it's Vegas, baby. It's Vegas, baby.
This is a team that did not make the Raiders won 7 games last season? And they get 2 Monday night games in the first 4.
Yeah, the Raiders barely finished out of the last place in the AFC West last season.
We've had the Raiders, non-playoff team. We've had the Lions, non-playoff team, and the Cleveland Browns get 1 Monday Night Football game for the whole season.
It's a
trash teams.
It's a bad schedule, but given that this actually is a good game, the Raiders versus the Chargers,
it is.
Who you picking?
This is tough. But I'm gonna go with the Chargers. Okay. Some fact that they're at home. I think these teams are like even. Neither one is they're completely even. No advantage. But Chargers being at home, I think they'll have a little bit more. So the Chargers winning a close one because that's what the Raiders do. They play close games. 31-28. No OT.
I have it.
The Raiders love overtime for some reason. No OT this week.
Well, all debates aside, I have it the exact same call. I have it 31-28 LA Chargers. For the, fucking picture perfect. The same thing. I have a little bit more confidence in the Chargers being at home. I think that the Raiders have kind of used up their luck. Or at least it needs to, recharge. Right. I don't think they've had enough time for their luck to recharge after what happened last week against the Dolphins.
True.
They used a lot of we being poker players, they used a lot of their one time.
They've been using one time all season.
Give me that one time come through with the right card, and the Raiders, I think they've used too many of those, and I think that they lose a very close game. It'll be 28-31. I think that the Chargers just pull it out again,
I feel like because they're at home one time, week 1, didn't they?
Yeah, so I think it'll be a really, really good game. It would definitely be, if I were to reach out to you people and tell you some games to watch this week, if you absolutely could, definitely I would say you need to watch the Arizona LA Rams game, watch the Baltimore Denver game, and watch the LA Chargers versus the Raiders game. Because I feel like all of those have hell of really good storylines. Those would be all compelling games, all be great games. Again, you got the 2 division leaders in the NFC West battling it out. Yeah. Whoever takes that takes a strong, commanding lead of that division. Whether it's the Rams,
for real.
Yeah. So that'll be a hell of a game. Again, the Baltimore-Denver game is going to be a great game because, again, that's a 2-1, multiple playoff run or consecutive playoff run team. And the Ravens going up against the 3-0 Broncos that everybody has questions about.
Second best afternoon game.
So it's you'll have that game, which will be a testament. Are the Broncos for real or are they not? So that'll be a hell of a good game to watch. It also kind of show where Lamar Jackson is as far as his health and his mind and all of that stuff. And then capping it off on Monday night, that Raiders Chargers game. I'm calling it now as you call it. I think it'll be a hell of a game. Yeah. I think it's going to be a tough, fun Monday night. Tough, hard fought game. But I think that the Chargers just barely get it out. And Jimmy, don't hate me for this. My friend who's the number one Raiders fan, don't hate me for this, but I think it'll be. I think the Raiders they're gonna need one more lucky play, and I don't think they'll get it this week. And that'll be the only difference in the game. The Raiders need one more lucky play, and they won't get it.
Yeah, I just want to see the matchup between because Darren Waller's again. I think he solidified himself as the third best tight end in the league so far this season. Mm-hmm. The matchup between him and Derwin James, has to be key. Derwin James can actually cover tight ends, so that'll be a fun part of the meta game to look at.
Okay. So I just talked about what games I think that everybody should watch. What would be your big thing that you want everybody to pay attention to coming up into week 4 of the NFL or just around sports in general? Like what's a big headline for you that you want to leave the people with?
Honestly, it's really because this week is all about the Tampa Bay New England game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree with most of the talking heads are saying this is probably the most sentimental game in NFL history. Yeah, and I would agree with that. Like, it's so many stories. I mean, Brady being the biggest, but like say AB was there for breakfast. Gronk. Yeah. But then it's even the coaching. Like Bill Belichick and Bruce Arians have been going at it for many, many years. Bruce Arians was offensive coordinator, and Bill Belichick trying to stop his offenses. So and then of course Brady Belichick, and then you got all this stuff coming out. So who wrote a book? Their former trainer or something wrote a book, and like it's crazy. A lot of drama. It's crazy. Yeah, a lot of drama surrounding this game. Wes Welker came out and made a statement. Dude, go sit down.
Go somewhere. You ain't been heard from him in a while for a reason. Go somewhere.
And it's so many. It's almost like you heard things that said about Bill Belichick facing QBs for the first time. It's like for Brady again. This is what year 20, 22, 20 something. Yeah. For this to be the 55. First time you're going, something like it's weird. 20-year career, and this is a first for you. So that'll be new. Looking at Tom Brady, dude, he does not look well. That's another reason why I'm picking the Patriots. He has no voice. Mm-hmm. And I think the Patriots as an organization just gonna game plan this whole thing. They're gonna do this big tribute to Brady and have all this fun and get everybody riled up, and then let everybody Brady out, and then they're gonna make everybody Patriot out, and it'll be a fun game to watch. Watch the chess match between Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. It's gonna be fun.
I have Tom Brady, pulling that out. I think that will be that's gonna be a hell of a good game for all the storylines. So definitely for that.
Because it'll be. Remember somebody asking, who was this game more important for? And I think it's more important, honestly, for Tom Brady.
I agree with that. I think it is.
Because this is something, this will probably be a first and only. Yeah. Because of the new rules, teams only play once every 4 years. I don't think Tom Brady got 4 years in him. But I can hang this over your head for the rest of your life.
Oh, so that's why you want it. That's why you want it.
No, not me and you. I'm talking about Belichick to Brady. Yeah, guess what? Because 3 quarterbacks have beaten every team in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So Tom Brady can become the 4th. And if I can be the one to prevent you from entering that club, plus we got rings, fuck your Super Bowl you just won. I beat you.
We'll see.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be another good weekend of football. Because with some of these matchups, there's gonna be some interesting coin flips on who wins what games. I'm hoping to come out this week better than 11-5. I'm legit trying to have a week where I'm 15-1. I'm hoping that this is it. So we'll see. But again, it's been another good one. It's been another good day. It's been another good week. It's the first, as we talked about, it's the first day of October. It's time for them Halloween. It's going to be some of the scary storylines, man. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of scary storylines coming up, so I'm excited for that. I'm excited for y'all. This is episode number 11. Again, thank y'all for tuning in to yet another episode of the Next Man Up Sports Podcast.
Yes, sir.
We're going to keep bringing these to you every Tuesday and every Friday. We love y'all. If you guys are enjoying the content, please don't forget to subscribe, hit us with some comments. Please make sure your notifications are turned on. That way you get an alert whenever the new episodes drop.
There you go.
Again, my name is Shaka. This has been Bobby G. Thank you for tuning in to the Next Man Up. We'll see y'all in the next one. It's going to be a great week. Let's get them out of here.
Peace.